Hey, Christine Regan Lake, how are you? Nice to be back. So, today I want to talk to you about orgasms. So, I'm going to cover three different areas of things that could be negatively impacting your ability to have an orgasm or could cause erectile dysfunction for men. So essentially, there are three areas that could definitely be impacting your sex life. So the first one, obviously, is any kind of emotional trauma. I've been an energy healer for over 10 years, and I have worked with many, many individuals who have experienced sexual trauma. And as a result of that sexual trauma, it had a direct impact on their ability to be able to one even open up sexually to consider engaging in sexual relationships but also impacting their ability to actually even orgasm. It's a term frigid may come to mind for many of you when you think of women who have an inability to relax enough, right? So when someone has experienced significant trauma, and this can be for men or women, there are men whose the cause of their erectile dysfunction is emotional. There's been something traumatic that negatively affects their body, and that is what's blocking them from being able to get an erection. So emotional traumas absolutely cause disruptions in the chi and the energy flow in the body and can negatively impact your ability to relax enough to be able to open up sexually and feel safe enough and to allow yourself to go there to release. Sex is one of the most incredible experiences. Um, and ideally, for the most extraordinary experience, the most beautiful and sacred experience, you have to feel safe. But how do you feel safe sexually today if you have traumas from the past that are reverberating through your body and your nervous system? So the key is that if you know that you've had some emotionally traumatizing experiences, whether it was an actual assault or just extremely negative experiences from past lovers who might have been critical, or the situation, the unfolding of those events were, embarrassing, humiliating, shame inducing, things like that. Shame has a very, very profound effect on one's ability to relax enough to open up to sexual pleasure, because if you think about it, orgasm is like complete and total release. And if you're vibrating from a place of fear and shame contract the energy, and fear and shame want to control. Well, an orgasmic release is the complete opposite of control. It's about total abandon and release and freedom. So absolutely healing the wounds at the deepest level that cause you to be contracted in your physical body, emotional body, spiritual body, sexual body, mental body. That's absolutely going to negatively affect your ability to orgasm and to have the most fulfilling sex life that you could possibly have. Okay, so what's a second reason that could be a negative influence on your ability to orgasm for both men and women? Well, believe it or not, nutrition is very important and has a direct impact on the physical body and your ability to orgasm. So, there are four foods I'm going to talk about today that can negatively be impacting your sex life, and you may not know it. The first one is bottled water. What many people may not realize is that the plastics they use today are estrogenic, and water is a solvent. So when you buy those bottles of plastic, water bottles, that have been, they're sitting in the store, they've been sitting in the warehouse, they're sitting in your house until you use them. All that time that water is sitting in that plastic bottle, that water is a solvent, and it's like breaking down the plastic bottle. And the plastic bottles are estrogenic, which means they're filling your body with high levels of estrogen. This is incredibly detrimental to men who are now experiencing man boobs and infertility at huge rates, and it's because their testosterone levels are plummeting because they're in comparison to the estrogen, because the estrogen levels are going up so high because they're drinking from these plastic bottles. It's the plastic water bottles, it's the the plastic bottles for like Gatorade, soda, things like that. The plastics are estrogenic and they're toxic, and they're negatively influence your testosterone levels, which is going to negatively impact your libido. So what's the second one? Soy. Edamame beans, soy. So soy is absolutely a hormone disruptor and can, again, disrupt the levels of testosterone and increase levels of estrogen, which can be negatively impacting your ability to orgasm. So if you do know that you've been, consuming a lot of soy, pretty much assume basically the soy in the United States, they say, is pretty much all contaminated and it's not good. It's, they're GMO stuff, they've been modified, and it's just not healthy. A lot of people talk about how the Japanese consume a lot of soy. Their soy is natural, hasn't been messed with, and they do not have the problems that we have with soy here in the United States. So what is another food item? I got to be honest with you, this one is going to be heartbreaking for me because I love cheese. So why is cheese a problem? Well, and let me tell you, I was like French in a past life because I don't even want to live in a world without wine, bread, and cheese. But cheese today is very toxic in a lot of ways. So why is it toxic? Well, when the farms were kind of moving years ago, 50, 70 years ago, when farms were used to be out in the field, whatever, the dairy was fine, but then they moved the cows into closed quarters to try to do mass commercialization. So cows ended up standing in the same place all day long, standing in their own poop, and diseases started to come about. And that's really where the pasteurization process came from, is they had to pasteurize stuff because these cows were developing all sorts of bacteria and stuff like that on their udders and, whatever. As well as because the farmers wanted to, with the commercialization, wanted to get as much milk from the cows as possible, they started artificially injecting the cows with hormones so that they would stay pregnant year round, so that they could milk them year round. And so pumping them up with all these hormones, all those hormones are in the dairy that goes into the cheese. So there's and the third level of toxicity is that when these cows, because they're constantly being milked, they end up getting infections in their udders. They swell up, they get infected. And so now the cows, on top of being pumped with hormones, they're now pumped with antibiotics to kill the infections on the udders. So you're consuming all of that shit when you are eating cheese. So if you're going to have cheese, you want to make sure that it's a raw grass-fed cheese, like grass-fed cows, raw, farm grazed cheese. Like that's the healthiest cheese that you're going to have, if anything. But if you're just doing the normal basic cheese, from the grocery store, from mass commercialization, you're consuming a lot of crap in that and a lot of hormones, and that could be negatively impacting your ability to have an orgasm. So what's the fourth one I want to talk about? The fourth one is actually sugar. So why is sugar a problem? Well, white refined sugar can cause belly fat, which decreases men's testosterone. It also decreases their muscle mass, and it screws up with your insulin levels. So you want to limit the amount of sugar that you're consuming. All of these things, they all play their part. And the thing is, the more you have of them and the more they get stacked, the more impact they have on you. So nutrition is always important, but like if you're having issues in your sex life, you really kind of just want to look at everything that could be causing a problem. And the last one is really just, in terms of your body being toxic. I've been doing detox cellular cleanses for over 12 years, and I have a lot of friends who are into this. And I had a friend of mine who was like, yeah, oh my God, once I started realizing that, I could deep tissue and cleanse my body and get all this stuff out, he started, and this was a guy who was in his 50s. He's like, I'm waking up every morning with a stiff one, like I'm 18 again, So it's amazing what the body can do when you clean out all the toxins. We basically live in a toxic soup. And, there's tons of chemicals that are attacking us on any given day. And all of those things put an energetic burden on the body. So if you're highly toxic, absolutely it's going to affect everything. It's going to affect your mental clarity. Of course, it's going to affect your sex life. So, if you want to detox, there's different ways that you can do that. I have a near infrared sauna. I can put a link in the description box about that. My near infrared sauna I've had for about 3 or 4 years now. I use it every day for about 20 minutes. It's the best way to detox heavy metals from the body. I love it. It's so nourishing and relaxing. It actually soothes the sympathetic nervous system. It will turn off the fight or flight, and so yeah, it's an amazing experience, as well as doing detox cleanses. I'll share a link in the description box as well to the one that I use. I try to do it. I typically detox once a month, do some kind of cleansing. I do weekly. I do like weekly fast days on Monday where I detox on a single fast day, and then once every like 3 months I'll do like the deep tissue, really focused, do like a focused 11-day one to really just clean out, because we're constantly absorbing all these toxins in the world, the dyes from our clothes, breathing in the air. There's stuff in the air. There's stuff in like your furniture. It's just everywhere. We live in a toxic soup. And if you want to maintain long-term health, you have to embrace a detoxing lifestyle where you have a system where you have an ongoing way to detox and cleanse the body of the impurities that you are absorbing on any given day. So there you go. That's what I wanted to share with you, the 3 different things that could be impacting your ability to orgasm and have a satisfying and fulfilling sex life. As always, I just wanted to bring your attention to the link that I have in my description box about Operation Underground Railroad. As you may or may not know, I am an abolitionist. I support Operation Underground Railroad. They are the charity that I have adopted. It is my mission to raise $1 million to rescue children from human trafficking. Currently, there are over 2 million children being held in slavery. 800,000 children go missing every year. Every 30 seconds in Europe, a child goes missing to human trafficking. There are 3 areas in human trafficking. It's the sex slave trade, the slave labor market, and human organ harvesting, which is, they're all horrific. But so it is my mission to rescue as many children as I can. If you go to my link, you can look at my fundraising page. I've personally donated over $16,000 to this fund to rescue these children. So I do try to lead by example, and I continue to donate money as I grow this channel. So if you find it in your heart to want to donate something to rescue these children, they need our love and they need our leadership to set them free. So thanks so much. Have a beautiful day, and I hope you found value. Thanks. Bye.